What if I told you that this one message could stir up a deep emotional yearning in a man's heart, not just a fleeting thought, but a powerful craving to bring you back into his life? This isn't about manipulation. It's about genuinely understanding how men think, what makes them desire someone, and how you can use that knowledge to create lasting attraction. Men are wired for challenge, purpose, and the pursuit of something meaningful. If you're too available, too predictable, you begin to fade into the background of his life. But when you learn how to express yourself in a way that triggers his deeper psychological need for admiration and connection, he won't just think about you, he'll long for you. Today, I'm going to share the one message that will make him miss you intensely. More importantly, I'll help you shift your mindset so that you never feel the need to chase a man again. People don't miss what's easily available, and this is a truth many women struggle to accept. When it comes to love, we're often told that love should be constant, always visible, always offered freely. But that's not how human psychology works, especially when it comes to desire and longing. Think about it. When something is always within reach, always accessible, it becomes ordinary. You stop noticing it. You stop appreciating it. But the second it's no longer there, its value increases in your mind. You start to wonder about it, you begin to miss it, and your desire for it grows. That's exactly how a man's mind works when it comes to attraction and emotional attachment. If you're always replying to his text immediately, always initiating conversations, always agreeing to his plans, or constantly checking in on him, you're taking away the very thing that makes him want you. Space. Men are built to chase. From an evolutionary perspective, their instincts are tied to the excitement of the hunt. When something is too easy to obtain, it doesn't ignite that deep instinct that longs for conquest. That's why women who carry a sense of mystery, who aren't always available, are the ones that remain on a man's mind. Creating space isn't about playing games. It's about showing that you are a high-value woman with a life that doesn't revolve around him. When you allow space, he begins to feel your absence. In that silence, his mind begins to work overtime. He starts to ask himself, why hasn't she reached out? Is she thinking about me? Is someone else catching her attention? That curiosity creates emotional tension, and emotional tension turns into desire. He begins to remember the good times, romanticize your connection, and before long, he's the one checking his phone, hoping for a message from you. That's the effect of space. It makes him value what he once took for granted. It lets him experience a sense of loss, which triggers the desire to reclaim what he feels slipping away. But here's where many women go wrong. As soon as he starts to show signs of missing them, they rush in. They respond too quickly. They explain why they've been silent, or worse, they let it appear as though they've been waiting for him all along. That completely undoes the effect. The real way to make him miss you is to maintain that distance even after he starts reaching out. You don't want to be seen as someone who's just sitting around waiting for him. You want to be seen as a woman whose time and presence are a privilege. Keeping your distance is a sign of self-respect. It shows that you have standards and won't overinvest. It makes him realize that if he doesn't step up, he might lose you. A man who truly values you will take notice of this and make the effort. If he doesn't, then he was never worth your time and energy in the first place. So take a step back, stop texting constantly, stop being always available. Let him feel what life is like when you're not constantly there. That's when he'll realize you're not just any woman, you're the one he can't afford to lose. Men don't miss you because of what you say, they miss you because of how you made them feel. This is called emotional imprinting, a deep psychological effect that determines how strongly someone remembers and yearns for another person. Think about your own past. There are probably people you don't talk to anymore, yet they cross your mind from time to time. Maybe it's an old flame, a childhood friend, or even someone you barely spent much time with. Why do they linger in your thoughts? It's not because of their texts or the logic of your conversations. It's because they left an emotional mark. Men are no different. They may not always talk about their feelings, but they are still shaped by them. When a man shares a deep emotional connection with you, it gets stored in his subconscious. Later, when he hears a song, visits a place, or smells a scent that reminds him of you, all those emotions come flooding back, and suddenly, he misses you more than ever. That's why making him miss you doesn't mean sending long, emotional messages or constantly showing that you care. It means ensuring your time together was meaningful and emotionally enriching, so even when you're not around, your memory stays with him. How do you create that kind of bond? Understand that men respond more to experiences than words. If you were always complaining, always available, or creating stress in his life, the emotional imprint wouldn't be positive. But if he remembers joy, laughter, meaningful moments, and authentic connection when he thinks of you, he'll miss those feelings and the version of himself that existed with you. This is where emotional triggers come in. Instead of a dull, "Hey, how are you?" text, try reminding him of a special moment you shared. For example, you could say, "I just heard that song from our road trip. It brought back memories. Hope you're doing well." This kind of message does two important things. First, it brings back an emotional memory, making him relive that moment. Second, it keeps a bit of mystery. You're reminiscing about something from the past without revealing how you truly feel about it now. This creates curiosity. He'll begin to wonder if you're still thinking about him, if you still care, and that draws him in. To build emotional imprinting, don't always be in touch. If you're always messaging and talking about everyday matters, it doesn't give him time to miss you. Your messages should be rare, memorable, and filled with emotion, not just routine updates. Focus on moments that stir something inside of him. That's when he won't just think about you, he'll feel drawn to you again. Now here's the core of it. The one message that will make him miss you deeply. Most women think they need to pour their hearts out or directly ask if he still has feelings for them. But that usually pushes him away. Why? Because when you chase or ask for reassurance, you're giving away your power. Instead of sparking interest, you become too predictable. The best way to make him miss you is to plant a thought in his mind that gradually grows, making him come to the conclusion that he wants you back. Here's the message that does exactly that. "I just heard a song/place/smell that reminded me of you. Hope everything's going great." It seems simple, but it triggers a deep psychological response. It brings up a shared moment, activates emotions, and most importantly, doesn't demand a reply. It shows that he made an impression on you without making you appear needy. It plants a seed of curiosity. He'll wonder if you still care, and that curiosity will keep him hooked. Here's what matters the most. Don't over-explain. If he responds, keep your reply light. Keep it warm but brief. Don't overload the conversation. Let him chase. If he doesn't respond right away, resist the temptation to follow up. The power of this message lies in its subtlety and the patience you show. You're letting emotions and memories do all the work. When done well, this message touches his subconscious, triggering nostalgia and desire. He'll find himself thinking about you out of nowhere, wondering why he suddenly feels a pull toward you. And that's when you'll know you've left an emotional mark he can't ignore. To make a man miss you intensely, always remember this key truth. Men are drawn to what they don't fully understand. The moment a man feels like he has you completely figured out, the mystery fades. But when there's space, emotion, and subtle reminders of a meaningful connection, you become the one he can't stop thinking about. When he believes he has you figured out, his interest naturally starts to fade. This doesn't mean he doesn't care about you. It just means the excitement and emotional pull lessen when things become too predictable. That's why maintaining a sense of mystery and intrigue is one of the most powerful ways to make him think about you constantly. Why do people get obsessed with solving puzzles or mysteries? Because their minds crave answers. When something isn't fully explained, the brain automatically fills in the gaps. The same psychological principle applies to attraction. If you're an open book, always sharing your thoughts, feelings, and daily routine, there's nothing left for him to wonder about. He doesn't need to think about what you're doing or who you're with, because you've already provided him with all the answers. But when you leave a little mystery, that's when he starts to wonder, and his mind keeps coming back to you. And when you don't reveal everything, his curiosity grows. He starts wondering, what is she up to? Why isn't she texting me as much? Is she moving on? That curiosity then transforms into longing. One of the biggest mistakes women make is thinking they have to constantly reassure a man of their feelings. In reality, it's those moments of uncertainty that have the most emotional impact. Have you ever noticed how the less available someone is, the more you think about them? The same concept applies here. When you create a little space and don't share every detail of your life, you become more interesting. Instead of chasing his attention, you become the woman who lingers in his thoughts. So, how do you create that sense of mystery without feeling forced? First, don't overshare. If he asks what you've been up to, don't give a lengthy, detailed response. Instead, say something like, "Oh, I've been busy with a few exciting things." This keeps the conversation light, while sparking curiosity. He'll start wondering what those exciting things are. Maybe you're meeting new people, having new experiences, or just enjoying life without him. Not knowing is what makes him curious. Next, limit your availability. If you reply to every text immediately, always say yes to plans, or constantly check in, it removes the sense of challenge. However, if you occasionally take your time to respond, skip a day without texting, or turn down a plan because you're genuinely busy, you send a powerful message. Your life doesn't revolve around him. This makes him value your time more. He'll start to realize that being with you isn't a guarantee, it's a privilege. Lastly, leave conversations on a high note. Rather than letting the conversation fizzle out, take the initiative to end it. Say something like, "I'd love to keep chatting, but I have to run. Talk soon." This leaves him wanting more. He doesn't get full closure emotionally, which keeps his mind returning to you. Creating mystery isn't about playing games or manipulating feelings. It's about maintaining a sense of independence and excitement. When a man feels like he's still discovering new aspects of you, and he's unsure about where he stands with you, that's when he starts to miss you most. It's not just about wanting to be with you. He needs to figure you out, and that keeps him coming back. If you want a man to miss you like crazy, the most powerful thing you can do is adopt the mindset of a high-value woman. This is the woman who doesn't chase after a man, beg for attention, or constantly seek approval because she already knows her worth. She is confident, self-sufficient, and radiates an energy that draws people in. Here's the truth: a man doesn't miss a woman who clings to him. He misses the woman he knows he can't fully have. So what does it mean to have a high-value mindset? First, it means putting yourself first, always. Many women make the mistake of shaping their entire world around a man, adjusting their schedules to fit his, constantly checking their phones for his texts, and waiting for his approval. But when a man sees that you're willing to sacrifice your own happiness just to keep him interested, he doesn't see value. He sees desperation. A high-value woman, on the other hand, is busy living her best life. She has her own goals, passions, and circle of friends. She's not waiting for a man to complete her. She's already whole. That kind of independence is incredibly attractive. Secondly, a high-value woman sets standards and sticks to them. She doesn't tolerate inconsistency, disrespect, or half-hearted efforts. She knows what she deserves and isn't afraid to walk away from situations that don't align with her self-worth. This is what makes a man think twice before losing her. When you show through both words and actions that you won't settle for less than you deserve, you set yourself apart. You become the woman who isn't easily won over, and that makes you even more desirable. Another key element of the high-value mindset is emotional control. When a woman constantly reacts to a man's actions, whether it's texting him out of frustration, over-explaining her feelings, or getting upset when he pulls away, she hands him all the power. But when you learn to control your emotions, when you stay calm and composed, You project an aura of strength and mystery. A man starts wondering why you're not chasing him, why you seem so unaffected, and that's when he begins chasing you instead. A high-value woman also knows when to walk away. This is one of the most powerful things you can do to make a man miss you. If he's being inconsistent, taking you for granted, or not putting in the effort, you don't argue, beg, or try to convince him to change. You simply step away, not to play games, but because you genuinely refuse to settle for less. When you do this, something shifts in a man's mind. He realizes you're not like other women. He can't play games with you, can't keep you on the line, because you know your worth. That realization makes him miss you in a way he never anticipated. Lastly, the high-value mindset is about abundance. A high-value woman doesn't think, "What if I lose him?" She thinks, "If he doesn't see my value, someone else will." This mindset is magnetic. A man will always miss the woman who carries herself with the certainty that she is the prize, not because she says it, but because she lives it. When you live with this mindset, you won't need to send countless texts or convince a man to miss you. He will feel your absence like a loss, because he'll know that losing you means losing something rare and special. So you've sent the powerful, emotionally stirring text, the one that subtly reminds him of you, sparks his curiosity and begins making him miss you. And now he replies. Maybe it's a simple, "Hey, I was just thinking about that too," or maybe a more emotional message, or even just, "Hope you're doing well too." Whatever it is, this is the moment where most women either deepen the emotional connection or ruin it. The first and most important rule: do not overreact. It doesn't matter if you've waited days, weeks, or even months for this message. You must stay calm. The worst thing you can do is send a long emotional reply asking why he disappeared, or telling him how much you missed him. That kills the mystery and makes it seem like you were just waiting around. Instead, keep your reply short, light, and slightly distant. For example, if he says, "Hey, I was just thinking about that too," you don't need to respond with, "OMG, really? I miss those times so much. Do you miss me too?" Instead, say something like, "Funny how certain things bring back memories. Hope you've been doing well." That works perfectly. It responds but doesn't give away too much emotion, keeps things open, and makes him work harder for more of your attention. The second step is to mirror his energy. If he's sending short, casual texts, don't reply with long messages. If he's being friendly but distant, match that tone. But if he starts getting nostalgic, asking about your life, or trying to dive deeper, you can slowly open the door, but only a little. The goal is to keep him wondering, is she still interested? Does she still care? That uncertainty will drive him to try harder. Now, let's say he asks something direct, like, "So, how have you been?" This is your chance to show that you're a high-value woman living an exciting, full life. Instead of saying, "I've been okay, just working and missing you," say something like, "Really good, been busy with some new projects and trying new things. What about you?" This sends a subtle yet strong message. You've moved on, you're not stuck in the past, and your life is full, with or without him. But what if he says something like, "I miss those times," or "I miss talking to you"? Here you need to be smart. A low-value response would be, "I miss you too. We should catch up soon." That's too easy. Instead, say something like, "Yeah, those were great times. Crazy how fast life moves." That acknowledges his feelings but doesn't offer immediate comfort. It makes him work harder to see if you're still emotionally available. Lastly, don't make yourself too available too quickly. If he starts texting more, don't rush to reply every time. Take your time, keep the mystery alive, and let him feel the absence between conversations. If he truly wants to reconnect, he'll make the effort. Your role isn't to chase him, it's to let him step up and show his true intentions. At the end of it all, how you respond determines whether he becomes obsessed with you or forgets about you. Keep your strength, stay calm, and let him feel the full impact of wanting you. The real way to make a man miss you isn't through games or tricks. It's by becoming a woman so valuable, so magnetic, that he feels your absence deeply. When you show confidence, keep some mystery, and never settle for less than you deserve, you change the dynamic. You're not the woman who waits, you're the one he wants to chase. Remember, the text you send is just the spark. What truly makes him miss you is who you are, a high-value, confident woman with a fulfilling life. When you stop chasing, stop proving your worth, and start living by your own standards, you become unforgettable. And that's what makes a man crave you, not just now and then, but deeply, emotionally, and constantly. So the next time you wonder if he misses you, ask yourself something even more powerful. Does he even deserve to? Because when you know your worth, the right man won't just miss you,